Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Living in Denver Metro North channel. We're going to be in a great video today that you must watch if you're planning on moving into the Denver metro area.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of Denver, Colorado.
All right, here we go. All right, your Colorado real estate family, Pete and Chelsea Sweeney here. And real quick, before we get started, if you can hit that subscribe button, if you haven't done so already, the notification bell, that way you're notified every single time that we make a brand new video. Quick thumbs up, get us some more traction, and get some more views on this video.
Yeah, we love making videos for you guys. So if you're looking to move into the Denver area, we are your people. We have been here, we've lived here. Peter is a 5th generation native. So if you're looking for some good advice, that's what we're here to do. And today, we're going to check out the pros and cons of Denver.
Denver, just like the majority of other large metro cities, with every pro, you also have cons. With the good, you have the bad. And so we really want to expose you to what we believe are like the top pros and cons living in Denver. So here we go. The first one we're going to do is transportation. Transportation. The biggest thing that Denver has going for it right now as far as a pro goes is the light rail. The light rail is amazing. It's all throughout Denver and the metro area. Only con to that, though, is it is taking a while to get the suburban areas outside of Denver. So the cities that are surrounding, the ones that directly touch Denver, do have that light rail station in place. But the ones a little further north, like Longmont, even Boulder hasn't really gotten their station yet. Like a few of these other cities are still waiting, and they've been waiting, and they might be waiting a little bit longer.
I mean, how long were we waiting?
We're still waiting.
I know, but it started coming up this direction.
Yeah. So,
I mean, ours is right. How far is the closest to us?
The closest to us, see, 128. So that's probably like a mile and a half away.
East Lake, right?
East Lake,
East
yeah.
Lake? Okay.
Yeah. And we purchased our house like knowing that there was going to be a station going in right down the street. Because like, how awesome would that be if you decide to take a trip downtown? Don't have to drive and deal with that traffic. All you have to do is just park over there down the street. We're only about like 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
And just, take the light rail down, make it a day. Airport too, that would be awesome. The fact that we'd be able to take that and go to the airport if we wanted to, if we didn't want to pay for parking or an Uber in order to go to the airport either. So that's the big reason that we really purchased here is because having that light rail station is so big, and having it in the middle of Denver, so many people could commute. If you want to live on the suburbia or outside of Denver, go into that downtown Denver and be able to have that access without having to deal with the traffic and Uber or whatever it is, however you get into Denver. So
yeah, it's just taking forever to get to where it needs to go. So it is important though to check as far as where it's going, because obviously that'll increase the value of the houses and all that stuff. So it is something that we decided to look into, and as even though it's taking a long time, it definitely is a pro.
I was just thinking
Denver.
about it. Every single house that we've owned was within a mile of a light rail station. Because Meade, I was right next to the light rail station that got put in right down the street, Westminster. The last house we had, 104th right there, light rail station. Actually, 112th too. It was right between the two.
Yeah.
And it was. I remember back when I sold the Meade house. It was one of our first houses that we owned together. The price that it jumped up in the next year just because the light rail station was freaking awesome. So but
definitely a pro and a con just because of the time, but all around pretty much a pro.
Well, and I'm not sure if Longmont's going to get their money's worth with taxes. So they started a special tax and they still haven't seen it yet, and now they're saying there might be another one. So they're kind of kind of like, you know.
Okay, well, let's hope for a long one.
Yep, there you go.
Because it's beautiful there.
Yep.
Okay, the second one, number 2, is the proximity to the mountains. So we are super close to the mountains, and with that obviously comes all of your outdoor activities like your biking, your hiking, your water rafting, your skiing. I mean, I could just go on and on.
Snowshoeing.
Snowshoeing.
Well, we've done it once.
We tried snowshoeing once.
What? We didn't try. We did or was it 3K or 5K?
Wow, that was really early on. We'll have to show you a picture.
Yeah.
We have a picture of that. Oh my gosh, you're going to laugh at his picture of that. Okay, you were so young. Okay, and then of course, the con being that it's high altitude. So being a nurse, I will tell you that sometimes we have to like move our elderly population down from the mountains because of the high altitude, because like different comorbidities, or just, you know, some people, especially with lung issues, have a hard time in high altitude. So definitely something to think about. So a lot of our like retirees will sometimes start coming back down.
They'll go down to like Florida and stuff like that, more sea level, so that that's a little easier on their lungs and all that stuff.
But I will say with high altitude, like it's really good for athletes to train and everything.
I was just gonna say, anyone playing in the Mile High City, you got to know that we always have the advantage because we're already used to this high altitude, and other teams coming in here, they're always huffing on oxygen and stuff. We have the Olympic Center down in the Springs too, so it's like Olympians come to train in Colorado too because it's such high altitude. So, but
with people moving back to the con, because we're not going to go all pros, back to the con, we are landlocked, you know. So we're close to the mountains, but we're landlocked. We have the high altitude, so a little bit of pro, a little bit of con.
No ocean here. You got some beaches on the lakes, but nothing like the ocean whatsoever.
Our beaches.
Yeah.
We had a real estate agent recently send us a flyer with Colorado's beaches. Which are just like a little patch of sand on the lake, you know, which we appreciate. We too like to go and take the kids somewhere close, but you know, we're landlocked here. We have no ocean. In fact, in one of the videos, you were like, "Send us a little tube and we'll find it." But wait, we have no ocean.
Oh, a little bottle in the it was like.
Anyways, okay, number 3.
All right, number 3. So before we dive into number 3, real quick, I want to reiterate, if you could please hit that subscribe button and a quick thumbs up. Like I said, we really like making these videos. So on to number 3, and the third one is going to be the growth. And Denver is growing so fast outward, inside as well too. So inside parking lots are getting turned into centers. I mean, we were just doing a video a couple weeks ago, and this St. Baldrick's is where we used to do, the shaved head for kids' cancer and stuff. Used to be this huge parking lot, and that's where you used to always set up these tents and stuff like that. We would go to do our video when we're like,
oh yeah, it was all built.
What is this? Yeah. It's just this huge, like, it's pretty cool looking center, but because it's growing so fast, it's changing so much. It's crazy. It's so much more to do downtown Denver now. There used to always be kind of like the Lodo area. That's where you always hung out. But now, pretty much anywhere downtown, you could hang out and be, doing some stuff.
We talk in other videos, so if you haven't seen our other Denver videos, please go check them out. But we talk about how, we all have different languages down here because of how many. It used to be like go to Denver. Now it's high, low, low, high, Highlands, Rhino. So, and it's because so many cool little developments are happening, or so much growth is happening within, that they kind of divided it out by its own name. So lots of growth, lots of new things everywhere.
Yeah, 5 Points. You remember 5 Points when we were kids?
I went down there much.
It was the spot not to go. If you wanted to get mugged, like 90% chance, you go to 5 Points. Now 5 Points. Oh yeah, now it's like a ritzy, like brand new area, condos and stuff, and I'm like, 5
They're
Points?
like, I live in 5 Points. We're like, really?
Yeah. It's crazy how much Rhino too. Rhino used to be all industrial and stuff, so we're growing pretty quick here. But with that, your prices are going to rise. Yep. The con is that the prices are going to start going up. Less area, so obviously supply and demand. You have less area to build on. It's going to be more expensive. So you got to worry about those real estate taxes kind of going up as well too. You got property, house pricing going up like crazy. So yeah, with the growth is going to become more expensive. So yeah, definitely. All right, let's hit on number 4.
Number 4. So schools. Go ahead and talk about the top schools.
So Denver is known for a couple of top schools. So like Cherry Creek is one of them. I think it was Colorado Academy. They have some of the top schools in the state. And I mean, Cherry Creek, when we were growing up as kids,
gosh.
It's like they killed everyone. It was
Cherry Creek.
Them, Mullen, they killed everyone in sports, right? They just like, if you did any sport whatsoever, you thought you're like, you're pretty hefty, you're tall and all that stuff. You go to Cherry Creek and they got a foot on you. You're like, oh man.
I was not tall, but I played volleyball, and these girls, like, I'd be walking in, we're like, we got this, and then the Cherry Creek girls would come, and it was like a theme song, like bum bum bum, because like these girls were like 6 foot tall, and like when you're in high school, you're like, oh no, that was a libero, so like trying to block these giant girls, they just were so good.
Yeah,
so
just
good.
pure athletes. It's like they attract all these athletes, but yeah, those two schools, Niche gave them both an A+. Like I said, Denver has some top-rated schools from in the state in Denver, so that's great to kind of have that in the city as well too. So, but with the con of that, if you're going to go private as compared to public, private is pretty pricey. I mean, we're looking at private school a little bit where we're at, and I mean, you're looking at $20,000 a year for 2 kids. So it's
yeah, and I mean that. I can't really price out some of the others because ours is a pretty specific school. It's tied to our church, and you know it is religious, and so it might be a little bit more expensive. But man, $20,000 for 2 kids, like,
oh yeah,
that's pretty pricey, and that's one of the biggest schools up by us. You know, so you'd have to dive in a little bit as far as like what private schools are costing all the way around, because it can be pretty pricey.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely, once you switch to public to private, huge jump in that, the price. But Cherry Creek's public, and it's like I said, it's one of the greatest schools in the state. So it's not to say that you have to go private.
Yeah.
It's just that's a huge con, knowing that if you did decide to go private, maybe you do have some religious affiliation that you want to stick to or whatever it might be, you're going to be paying quite a penny to kind of do that. So
it is nice though that we have schools that are good, that you don't have to do that. So it's a little bit of everything. People can kind of choose. So.
Yeah, Colorado has some great schools for sure, and just public wise, charter schools and stuff. So don't let that bring you down where it's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go to private or whatever it might be. So you can still stick to the public schools, but like I said, a con to that is if you do decide to go private, you're going to be paying for it for sure. So all right, what are we on? Are we on number 5? Number 5. All right, diversity. With all this growth and everything, we have so many different ages, so many ethnicities. We're all kind of like a conglomerate of all these different freaking just people, and it's been amazing because kind of growing up, we didn't really have that much diversity, and you got all these different restaurants, all these different religions and stuff like that really coming in, and it's pretty cool to see. Like I said, Denver growing up, we're pretty linear, if that's the best way to put it. And so it's like it's really cool kind of seeing the different changes, all the different stuff, artistics and stuff downtown. So super cool.
Even now. It was very more family-based, probably, I would say, before, right?
Oh, yeah, because now all those areas that we discussed, like Hilo and all that stuff, those are all older homes, and now they're all, being scraped and turned to these freaking...
Whoa, that's a knock out our light over here.
All these, these crazy duplexes and stuff like that, and then with the con coming out of that, the younger groups moving in. So downtown is becoming much more young than it used to be, whereas before, you'd have downtown, you still have the young professionals and such in downtown Denver, and then the outskirts you kind of had the more family, kind of the older, but now that's all really getting pushed out even more, and so now you got the suburbia, got Highland Ranch and stuff, all these families and kind of the older populations getting pushed out of Denver a little bit more. So that's not to say, you still have the older generation, it's just not anywhere near what it was when we were kids.
In Denver, here's a really silly example, but back in the day, like, graffiti was bad, right? Like, it was a bad thing. Now, like, because it's kind of hip downtown, there's graffiti everywhere. They use it as decoration.
It's like artistic.
It's artistic, and which is actually kind of pretty. I mean, they'll take older buildings and they'll turn it into something like very artistic and beautiful. Whereas before, we're like, oh man, I got tagged again, or whatever, So it's just cool to see that they're able to, kind of really incorporate some of that younger stuff into even the surroundings of Denver. But most of our elderly population, they are usually in like assisted livings or communities if they are still in Denver.
Oh, so is there even any assisted livings that you know of in the Denver downtown area?
Yeah.
Oh, there
but
is.
they're in the communities. That's what I'm saying. Like,
a
lot of our senior population are not being pushed, because that's not what I'm trying to say, but like they're starting to kind of go together in the communities, such as independent living, assisted living, memory cares, and then even the cottages, or like we're starting to see the nanny huts.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that, where they're just making it, kind of, or gated communities. You have a lot of gated communities for our seniors. So it's just starting to kind of congregate different people in different areas.
Yeah,
and then
of course.
A lot of the families are moving way out into the suburbs.
Yeah, because, there's different purposes for family. Like I said, us personally, we prefer more room, being in a location where you have, like, larger parks and stuff, and we don't mind, driving here and there to the malls and all that stuff, where downtown, you're definitely going to be a lot more congested. If you're living like right outside downtown, you have to worry about your parking. They do have some places, there's some spots that are permitted, but we just prefer, you know, kind of the more of the suburbia lifestyle. But that's not to say that many of you who are watching this video right now are gonna like more of that downtown style, you know, where you could just jump out and just walk around downtown and do whatever you might want to do. So
yeah,
it's just all about preference. But I think with all this kind of being like jumbled into one thing, Denver is a great city and it's growing to become even greater. And so if you're looking to move in this area, I mean, I think it's a great move. You know, I don't know where you're coming from, but yeah, I just think
and we talked about it in our other videos. So if you haven't checked out our other Denver video, we talk a little bit about pricing. So, you know, yes, we're growing, but pricing right now is, you got to get in now, really, because Denver's starting to catch up with other cities. They're not catch up, but they're starting to scale a little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely getting up there. I mean, like, so nothing like LA or New York, but Denver's coming up.
Yeah.
And like I said, my personal opinion and professional opinion is that it's all based on Denver's always been down here, you know, and it's like when it becomes more popular, it's just starting to come more up, and it's I don't see a bubble whatsoever. I just think that our prices are getting adjusted to all the popular cities around. So
so if you're looking to move to Denver, we just shared a lot of good pros and cons for you. All in all, Denver's great. There's always a place for anybody looking, whether you're single or you're just, you know, maybe you're a business person and you're looking for a new job, or maybe your family or whatever it may be. We have it all here in Denver, and you know, better to move now than before. Prices actually equate to what we really have, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Very cool, you guys. All right, so if you haven't done so already, please check out our other videos. We have a ton of videos out there on this channel living in Denver Metro North. So many great areas out there, and like I said, I highly recommend if you're looking into moving in the Denver metro area, checking those out, because you might see something that you really like in another city or another area or whatever it might be. So highly recommend checking those out. Kind of we try and do our best to show the area, kind of what you're gonna run into, you know, and all that stuff. So it's always good to be exposed to different stuff. So.
Yeah, and if there's an area that we haven't covered already, please just let us know. We have people reaching out to us every day asking us to cover different areas. We would love to add your area that you're looking into to the list. We really take that seriously. We're here for you. We want you to be able to see what you're moving into before you get here, and having a perspective of a local is super important. So we're here for you. Let us know. Give us a call. Pick up the phone. We pick up our phone every time for you.
All right, very good, guys. Well, we love you, and until next time, see ya.
Bye.